Yeah, they're circling, they're circling. They're following us. Stop following me, bear. That one is circling, I think. We are walking. It's a flipping cold north wind. Close to bears. Oh, that's going to irritate me before we even got there. I'm carrying loads of recycling because it is recycling day. Why are they blocking the pavement with this? Whose is this? That's the holiday park. Well, yeah, it's just blocked the pavement. That's irritating, isn't it? Okay. That was the aircraft going over again, or one of them. Yeah, a bit of movement on the water there, blown up by the wind. Just wait a moment. Let's just see who's going out here. There's a yacht going out. It's making a lot of noise in the wind there. Wait. Just got a quick shot. They are circling. They are circling. Like they do. Round and round and round and round and round. Of course, it could be several of them doing the same thing. Right, they've turned. I can't get the name. I was just trying to see what the name was when we got there. Karina, is it? Yeah. Bit noisy with the breezer. Okay. Hello, hello. It's like a squirrel this way went, and it left a bit behind. That's quite a bit torn out there, isn't it? Ouch. Yes, there is quite a bit of movement on the water here. He's having a look, isn't he? Crikey. Without going right under. Okay, he's not diving for me. Yeah, quite a bit of movement on the water. And a lot of rubbish up on the beach here. I am not in the mood to be doing that. Yeah, certainly not in the mood. Where's that bird gone? It's gone under somewhere. Alright. She'll be carrying a Coke can. Just wait, mate. Yeah, it's a bit boisterous, it is. To the chair for a while. We are going down today. Which way is the best way for the camera? I'm going to do a piece to camera here, and I don't want to have to do it all again because of the wind noise. In doing the edits for the last 2 days, the trips to the hospital, it didn't. I didn't film enough to show the chaos. The chaos that I kept on referring to on the last couple of videos was the chaos in the car park, actually at the hospital. Now one has experienced that and comes to think of it, you know, there's very little parking at the car parks at the hospital. A lot of it is staff parking. So there's actually sort of, you know, the main car park that I always head to, because that's the only one I really know, and it's right near, you know, the lung department and everything I need. That was chock-a-block. Absolutely no spaces whatsoever on both days. And people were just driving around and around and around aimlessly. And then, like I did when I had Nigel with me on the first day, you know, we just sort of gave up because the appointment time was approaching, and I had to find somewhere to park to make the appointment, or else I just wasn't going to make it. So, despite, you know, having a ticket and all that, we had to leave, you know, put the ticket in and leave the car park, and desperately try and search for somewhere else. Now, on that first day, it was miraculous that we got a parking spot out on the road where we did. Absolutely miraculous. And equally miraculous yesterday, when, you know, I only went sort of 3/4 of the way around the car park and somebody just happened to be pulling out. So, oh my God, the relief. The number of people, because I sat in the car for like, you know, half an hour, the number of people just going round and round and round and round and stopping and waiting and just having to leave. There must have been loads of missed appointments as a result. There must have been. Utter chaos. So, yeah, you know, you see all this about ambulances waiting and big queues at A&E and all the rest of it. You don't think about the knock-on effect. And we experienced that. So that was why I left so flipping early yesterday. And it was just lucky on both days that I managed to, you know, get parking spots where we did. Anyway, that was that. Debrief about what actually occurred there. I did a spirometry test. The guy that did it, he was very good. You could ask, well, where are you really from? You know, he was white skin, but he had a foreign name and he had a hint of an accent. So, you know, he's some sort of immigrant background, but he was very, very good. He really was, you know, cheerleading and giving instructions about how to do the tests, and he was just very good at it. The results of the spirometry breathing test are largely unchanged since I last did them, if not a minor improvement. I put down the improvement to the guy who did it because he was very good and led me through it very nicely. The weight then, that was the appointment. Actually, I didn't say, 10 minutes early again. So I was in and out for that in no time at all, 10 minutes before my appointment time. The specialist, doctor, that was a whole different matter. I was waiting in the waiting room for getting on for an hour after my appointment time, something like that. At least, at minimum, half an hour. I think it was getting on for an hour. Anyway, it was a long, long wait. I read an entire COPD leaflet, cover to cover, and then I had spare time to sit there falling asleep. But as far as I'm concerned, that was actually largely a waste of time. The X-ray that I had taken, it shows nothing new. It shows, you know, what we already know is there. he was not in any way particularly concerned about these bits of stuff I've been occasionally coughing up. He didn't seem to think that was an issue. In terms of the aspergillosis, the blood test revealed I am still elevated in my response to aspergillosis, but not anywhere near the response my blood was indicating when I was coughing up the blood and all of that. So, in terms of aspergillosis, we're not worried about that. I'm kind of just dealing with a normal elevated response to, you know, what we encounter every day, as we all do. My response is just slightly elevated. So, much ado about nothing. None of that addressed what I'm currently experiencing, this choking, gagging, coughing, horrible stuff. So, the bottom line of yesterday was, right, let's have you give us 2 sputum samples so that we can see what that may be. Of course, I'm in the middle of antibiotics, so the first sample, which I'm carrying with me now, will be during antibiotics, which is undesirable. So I have to do another sample once the 10-day course of antibiotics is done with. So I've got 2 pots to fill up. You know, one of them I have with me, I've already filled. Also, the main thing that I think came of yesterday really was that the doctor has put me on a different inhaler. It is a 1 puff of some sort of powdered inhaler, 1 puff a day, and it includes, I believe, an element of steroids, whereas the one that I have been on did not include the steroids. I'm a bit concerned about that. I thought steroids were a slippery slope and you didn't want to be doing them if you could possibly help it, and certainly not on a long-term basis. So I was resistant to going on to this steroid inhaler. It's been suggested in the past, but he has now prescribed it. So that was part of why yesterday took so long. I then had to go, after his appointment, to the pharmacy and wait 20-25 minutes for the prescription to be made up. So I have a new inhaler. I need to read up on it. I've not used it yet. I need to read up on it and understand what it's all about. It's a whole different looking thing, different way to use it, the whole bit. That is my long debrief of the last couple of days. And I also, I think, mentioned yesterday that you know, I got home and not only had Nigel walked Bear around the block and stuff, you know, which that makes me so uptight. I can't tell you that, you know, I feel responsible for him, and to have somebody else walking around, anything could happen. I'm very uptight, but you know, I got to trust Nigel. He's a good man. But he went out into the front garden with Bear, pulled the door to, and he locked himself out. I couldn't believe it. What a nightmare that must have been for him. As luck would have it, he knew somebody down the road, and I think somebody passed by and they got together, and they, as I said, they managed to break in. He fashioned up some bit of plastic, like a credit card type thing that you see on the movies, and he managed to get the door open. I deliberately have the sort of door where when you go in the house you just pull it to and it is shut. I don't want one where I have to turn around and put a key in a handle and lock it to be secure in my own home. I want an old-fashioned, like a Yale, where you just pull it to. The fact they broke in so easy may change my mind on that, but anyway, that's the last couple of days debrief done. We're sitting here, we're going downtown shortly to hand in the sputum sample to the local doctor, in the hope that the doctor we saw yesterday was correct, that I could just hand it in locally and it will find its way back to the hospital. That is what the plan is for today. Cut.